We're here with Cassie Byard, professional Photoshop user. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Cassie?
Well, I think it's aptly done. I'm a professional Photoshopper. I do it for a living. Well, some on the side as well. It's both my hobby and my means of transportation. Everything.
What's your main avenue to use Photoshop?
I like Fifth Avenue.
Which version do you like best?
Oh, any version works for me. You know, you update. As far as I'm concerned, just the Apple version probably is my favorite, just because obviously, I'm a Mac user.
So do you use CS2 or CS3?
Yeah. Well, also, CS2 also. CS also? Of course. Yeah. Better.
Which windows do you usually use in your workspace when you are working on a project?
Well, when I sit in cafes, I've always sit by the window. It's just the best place. The lighting is natural. And,
okay.
Even in my room, I like soft light. I don't like overhead. So, I'll open up a window.
When you are in post-production from your work, what's your take on raw conversion?
Well, when I eat, I like my steak medium or medium rare, so obviously never gonna,
So you prefer raw?
No, not at all.
So you use JPEG? Rare.
Well, JPEG, that's that little game at Cracker Barrel.
When you make adjustments to your work, do you usually like to mess with the levels?
Oh, of course. All kinds of levels. There's the beginner, intermediate, pro.
Okay. Speaking of levels, what number range do you like to use that? What output level? That's a good question. What output level do you usually stay at?
Yeah, 112 to 162 generally, give or take, but mostly between that.
Okay.
Range.
That's a good range. And also thinking about levels, what about curves? How does that manage into your
I go to 24-hour fitness.
What number do you usually use when you affect the threshold? 2. Okay, all right.
When I'm at number 2, watch out. I don't want to talk about what happens in the bathroom right now. Just think it's a little inappropriate.
Okay, we'll move on.
Okay.
Well, do you liquefy your subject?
Again, out of the bathroom. Come on. A little privacy, please.
Okay.
I might be blushing now.
What do you think of the gamut warning?
Well, I'm not a big Lord of the Rings fan. Really.
Saturation, do you like to increase or use that feature at all?
Sure.
Okay. What do you think of the new black and white tool in CS3?
Well, it's okay. I prefer Life Over the Rainbow. The Wizard of Oz, though, well, that tool's not so great, but, I just prefer that. There's just bigger life over the rainbow. I just think Kermit the Frog said it best,
Okay. Do you frequently lock your slices when using them?
Like pizza?
Not in this case, but
Pie?
Okay.
Slice. I don't. No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
All right. And what do you like to do best with color balance? Do you like to affect that in your work?
Sure. Yeah. Like say, there's a picture of a girl in a pink shirt on one side of the seesaw, and the boy in the blue shirt on the other side. I hope that the picture is, not
tipsy-turvy.
Right.
Yeah.
I want that seesaw to be level so that the colors balance. So, I mean, that depends on who's taking the picture.
That's right. In the mode, when thinking about your image, do you prefer indexed color or the lab or multi-channel?
Well, I don't watch a lot of TV.
So you index?
Index cards. Oh, index cards. I've had a lot of fun memories with those. Just, the college days. I don't really know how far into my personal life you want to go, but yeah, index cards.
All right. We'll just move on then.
Okay, yeah.
Your vignette process. How do you go about doing that?
Oh yeah, vignettes. Well, when I go to at Panera, you mean like the long loaves of bread?
I was talking more about the darkening circular effect that comes on the image.
Oh,
that vignette.
Okay, well, you gotta be specific.
Do you take your own pictures? Do you do your own work?
I do on occasion. I dabble a bit in photography, but mostly other people give me their work, and I mean I've got a few things, but they're I don't do as much photography as I do just
post-production.
Yeah.
Do you like to feather, or do you go about the lens correction through the distortion filter?
Yeah, I use all, I kind of dabble with each of those, but with the distortion, well, sometimes that just doesn't work out very well. I know, if you're doing crime scene investigation or something along those lines, you can't distort the evidence, so...
So you steer clear of those distortion filters.
I do try to do that.
So you work a lot with CSI images?
Well, I can't really disclose all that information, but... In
reference to gradient mapping, do you dither?
Dither dather. So great. I love Pride and Prejudice. Just the language they use there. Dither dather, dilly dally. Yeah. I kind of love it.
So in selective color, and when that is an option through your images, when you're trying to go through and decide...
I try to be politically correct.
Okay, so
most of the time I'm pretty careful about that kind of stuff.
All right.
I don't do that selective game.
So you don't use relative or absolute?
I take everybody. I believe everybody's equal. It doesn't race, size, color, gender. I don't discriminate.
What would you say your favorite action is?
The Bourne Identity.
Alright, so how do you feel about layering?
Well, I like it.
So, what's your take on the layering masks, then?
Well, I don't wear layers on my face.
Moving on, a lot of photographers have been discussing smart objects recently, and
that's good.
Yeah, we're very thankful that CS2 came out with this option, and there's a lot of debate on whether or not you rasterize. What do you choose to do?
Well, C.S. Lewis really did have a lot of good things to say.
So do you choose to rasterize or with smart objects?
Again, no, I don't discriminate against race or gender, size, nothing like that. Do you expect that I would rasterize people?
We'll ask one final question before we go for a break. What's your favorite photo filter? Which one?
Probably blue or green.
Do you like the deeps or just the regulars?
I go deep a lot. I think a lot of times people miss out on life because they stay on the surface, but if I could go ahead and give some advice for Photoshop users and just people in general, I would say go deep. Always go deep. Don't settle for surface. Go deep. Dig deep.